Good morning, YouTube. Wanted to give our friends and family a little update on the barn. As most of y'all may remember, this barn has been... I'm trying to find a polite way of putting it, and I'm kind of failing. But basically, stuff was put here, there, and everywhere, stacked up, piled up over the last 15-20 years. Yeah, I've been through it several times since then, but it's been years since we've actually cleaned the barn. And Mrs. P didn't participate in this cleaning escapade. Me and Thomas did all the work. And when she walked out here, she just about fell over in a dead faint because she couldn't believe it. You could actually put two cars in the middle of here. You could walk from one end to the other without tripping over stuff. You could drive a mower straight through here, and I had all sorts of room. It was like a cavern in here. And then we went and moved the two cars back in, and there went all my all my room. But yeah, a lot of progress has been made. A few days ago, you couldn't even walk through here. It was literally like knee or waist deep full of boxes and other stuff. Now you can actually get to the door and open it. And I have gone and sorted and thrown away and done all sorts of stuff, clearing all that junk out. And I'm gonna mention it in another video, but there's the Porsche engine we went and drove all the way up to Iowa on Thanksgiving to go get. That's my spare Porsche engine for my 924. The other thing is you can actually walk through the barn now, all the way through, without tripping over too much stuff. This whole area was knee to waist deep in boxes and stacked buckets all over this floor. There was no way in the world that you could get to any of that shelving back there. So yeah, I've made a heck of a lot of progress. You can actually get to the shelving and get around and behind stuff. It's wonderful. Thanks a lot to Thomas for helping me out. And this is the workbench and the tables. Now here's the funny thing about these. I have cleaned off this table. I cleaned off that table. I cleaned off that table, and I cleaned off the table that's over behind the camera. I had horizontal surfaces with nothing on it. And then I went and started cleaning the rest of the barn, and stuff ended up back here. Stuff ended up back over there. Stuff ended up on the other table. Stuff ended up on the table behind the camera. Now the one behind the camera, that's okay, because that's Thomas's tools and stuff that he needs to work on the Miata. But this, I gotta go through and sort and figure out where it's gonna go and find new places for stuff and rearrange some other stuff, which means I'll have to be cleaning up some other stuff. We've been working on this project now for 3 days. I laughed and said it would take me a couple of months. That was an exaggeration, but this is not going to be a quick process. But I'm making a heck of a lot of progress, and I have found all sorts of tools I didn't even know I had or didn't remember having, such as this. This is a sander polisher. I bought this for working on the 77 Porsche, and I haven't even seen this thing for like 3 years, maybe 4. So I'm real happy to find it, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm finding supplies that I didn't even know I had. And I'm going to have to go through a bunch of things. One of the things is when I find miscellaneous hardware that doesn't belong to anything anymore, I throw it in a bucket. And I throw it in a bucket. And I throw it in a bucket. Well, now I've got like 3 or 4 buckets that are full of all sorts of hardware that needs to be sorted into screws, nuts, bolts, by size and whatnot, because I've got a whole bunch of little drawer units back here to put all that stuff in. That's not going to be fun, but it needs to be done. It hasn't been done in quite a few years. Now, the stuff that you see back there in all of those is stuff from the past 30 years. Now I've got several buckets to go through and add to all that. I mean, one of the things that I found that I just thought was hilarious, I found a whole bunch of these. These are traps, like you use for small game. Rabbits, gophers, that kind of stuff. And I had a dozen of these things. Now, I remember having one or two, but I don't remember having a dozen. Needless to say, I don't have much use for these, but I have to find a place for them in the barn because for some strange reason, I don't want to get rid of them. One of my all-time biggest pet peeves is not having the right tool for the job. And even more important than that, being able to find that tool. I got a lot of tools. I got, 40 years worth of tools. And the line of toolboxes goes further down the wall. And I need either one or two more of these toolboxes to hold the stuff that doesn't fit, or I don't have a place for it in there. But I've got a really bad habit. I will go and work on a Porsche or a Miata or a tractor or whatever and take all of those tools and slide them off to the side and go and take it for a test drive or whatever. Everything works great. Then I'll go and park it. Then I'll go inside. Did you catch that I missed a step? I got a real bad habit of not going back, picking up all of those tools and putting them away in all these toolboxes where they belong. So now I've got wrenches and screwdrivers and hammers and stuff scattered across 11 different buildings on the property. It's one thing if you misplace a wrench in your garage, but when you've got multiple buildings, it becomes a real problem. And I'm really bad at about that habit. And I'm trying to change. I'm really, really, really trying to change. Because, hammers like that do not belong in my hammer drawer. A hammer like that belongs in a drawer with all of the body working supplies, the blocks and the dollies and the scrapers and all the stuff for body work. So yeah, I've got to buy another toolbox or two, so go and put specialized tools in. Because I got air-driven grinders that I don't have a drawer for. So, Mrs. P, I need a new toolbox for Christmas, and Christmas needs to come in September.
When are you going to get my Porsche running?
I can get like all my brake bleeding supplies. That's in a 30-year-old cardboard box. I think I need to come up with a better solution, and I would rather put those in a metal drawer in a in a
When are you going to get my Porsche running?
Excuse me. One of the other things I found when we were going through all this stuff is I have got a ton of safety gear. I mean, from masks to all sorts of different goggles. We got helmets. I need a cabinet now. One of those Home Depot or Lowe's cabinets that you can put all sorts of stuff in. It has doors on it. It stands about yay tall. Are you listening, Mrs. P?
When are you going to get my Porsche running?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. The barn's getting cleaned up. I'm happy. I'm so sore. It's not even funny. And my dust allergies has been driving me absolutely nuts. Because as you might imagine, this barn is full of dust and dirt and crud. And we've been using a leaf blower and a big old shop vac for most of it. And Thomas has gotten very familiar with how to use a push broom in ways that you're not pushing it. Getting up underneath furniture and stuff. That's been fun with a push broom. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us for a few minutes and checking out the barn update. I hope you laugh at it just like I do, because I have to laugh at it, because otherwise I'd cry. There's just so much work to do out here.
When are you going to get my Porsche running?
However, the dumpster will be emptied here in the next day or two, and I can start throwing stuff away again. We filled the dumpster up to the top, and by my calculations, we'll probably do that 2 or 3 more times. And guess what? After we finish cleaning out the barn, we've got 3 storage units that we need to go and take care of. And we're getting a new storage unit. There'll be an upcoming video about that.
When are you going to get my Porsche running?
Come back and see us, and hang out on the farm with us again. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notifications when I post a new video, and comment. The more comments we get, the higher up we end up in the rankings on YouTube, and I get to show up in that evil little pane on the side of suggested videos that has you looking at cat videos at 3 o'clock in the morning, or a dog playing a piano.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, no.
Catch your composure.
You should have had me do the cat last. Now I've got blinky blinky cat in my brain. Oh, okay.